close-up is important because it gives students an advantage that not many people get, not many kids our age get.
When you come to close-up, you're going to get a positive experience here.
I've learned a lot. I've seen so many things that I might not have otherwise got a chance to see.
In school, you study history and government. Wouldn't you like to see how they apply in the real world? You read about how laws are made in theory, but wouldn't you like a close-up look at how laws are really made? If the answer to these questions is yes, maybe you'd like to join us. Close-Up Washington. Close-Up Washington is a study visit to the nation's capital, where you'll experience government and current issues firsthand. It's fun, and it will change the way you feel about democracy, citizenship, and maybe even yourself.
Raise your hand. All right, who thinks that they don't have to learn anything this week? Raise your hand. All right, that's so good. That's so good, because we are actually going to learn things this week.
I came here because I wanted to see Washington for what it really was, close up.
They're not coming just on a tour. They're not just going to be standing at a monument. They will be interacting actually with the place.
It's like a first-hand learning experience. We come here and we learn about the executive branch and the legislative branch and speak with our congressmen. We're not just reading it in the books, we're seeing it as well.
It's the chance of a lifetime to interact with people who are actually making policy.
From the minute you arrive, you'll be meeting and rooming with students from many different places.
Oh, my roommates are cool. We just met them yesterday and we bonded. We clicked right on the spot.
And like since we're from different places, we just like talk about
get to know each other.
Yeah, and like talk about the different, like where we're from and our different culture and heritage and stuff like that. So,
how school is.
Yeah.
We had people from Vermont, Utah, Newark,
Montana.
and we respected each other.
We talked, we laughed, we bugged out at night. It was just great. We had no problems. It was good.
You'll be traveling with a close-up program instructor, or PI. PIs serve as teachers and guides, helping you learn more about America's political process. They'll also introduce you to some of the nation's most influential decision makers.
People seem to think that as long as they're talking, they're actually accomplishing something. And both of Lincoln's speeches were, he had something to say, he said it, he shut up.
What we do is to remind them at an early age their responsibility to their families, responsibility to society, to be part of participation.
They have a component at some point during the week called the Workshop Without Walls, where the PIs and program instructors put together some sort of workshop out in the city.
We're going to go through a neighborhood that has a little bit of history to it. What we're going to talk about today is the role of the individual and the power of the individual and how they can make a difference in the community or in the world.
Close-Up Washington is not a sightseeing service. This is an educational experience that will challenge you to take a more active role in American democracy.
Well, you guys just gave me a new project to work on.
Close-Up Washington offers fellowships for qualifying students and teachers, making certain everyone has the opportunity to participate.
Hi, I'm Ellen Rogers. I am a teacher of government and civics at Port Huron Northern, and I'm very happy to have this opportunity to talk about one of my very favorite topics, the Close-Up program. For many years now, Port Huron Area Schools has sent students to Washington, D.C. In the spring to visit our nation's capital. Mostly we take seniors, but the program is open to sophomores and juniors as well. I'm the close-up teacher at Northern, and Miss Laura Foster is the teacher at Port Huron High. It is a wonderful week of learning for our students, as well as a great deal of fun. Many of the students who have gone in the past have said, Mrs. Rogers, you have to find a way to let other students know what an exciting trip this is. We leave in March. This year our trip is March 14th through the 20th. We leave on a Sunday and return on a Saturday. It is a very, very full week of activities. And one of the things that I like a great deal is that the students are on student program while teachers are on the teacher program. So for all of my students who say, a week in Washington, D.C. with a teacher, I don't know. It really is quite different from that. The work of the close-up teacher is mostly before and actually getting the students to D.C. and then back. I have to say that it is a very full week. I always warn parents as we have our meetings that I'll bring home to them students who are much more knowledgeable about our nation's capital, who are very excited. We like to say they've increased their political efficacy, and that they are usually quite exhausted because it's a very, very full week. The students have hear keynote speakers on a variety of topics. They visit the museums, the Smithsonian certainly. They do monument studies, and of course going to the Vietnam Memorial is a powerful experience. They visit the other ones as well, but they are learning all of the time. The students are with PIs, program instructors, and to a great extent, these are young people, recent college graduates who work for the Close-Up Foundation, and they are then going to be with them in groups of about 20 to 22 throughout that week. One of the many questions I of course get is, well, how much does this cost and who can go? And I think, as I stated earlier, the program is open to 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, though at both Northern and Port Huron High, we tend to take mostly juniors and seniors. I teach the 12th grade Problems of Democracy class, as well as Advanced Placement and Civics class, but mostly 11th and 12th graders are going. The cost of the program is $1,117. And as you take a deep breath and go, well, that's a lot, I'd like you to know just what's included in that price. First of all, we fly to Washington, D.C. I know there are many school trips where students are asked to hop on a bus and they have a long ride. We fly out of a metro airport and then usually arrive in D.C. sometime on Sunday. I like getting there about midday, so I still have a few hours for the students to get down to the mall and see a few things before they officially get on program. But in any case, we get there on Sunday, and that's when the program begins. It not only includes their flight to and from Washington, D.C., but all of their meals are provided. On a couple of occasions when they are not eating with the group, we give them a little envelope with about $5 or $6 to stop and pick up a sandwich if that's the case. That happens once or twice during the week. The trip also includes all the program instruction, and it includes the lodging in a nice Washington hotel. At this point I might add that one of the great aspects of the program is that students are coming from all over the United States, and in any given week there might be 5 to 8 states involved, and we then have 2, say, Port Huron Northern students rooming with 2 students from another state. It might be Alaska, could be Puerto Rico even, it could be Massachusetts, any of the states. And our students have had wonderful experience and have become very good friends with the other roommates. There are 4 students to a room, and of course one of our cardinal rules is that girls are with girls and guys are with guys. But they have 6 nights lodging, as I was saying, and all of their meals. They also will have 1 evening at theater, dinner out at some nice place. Very often in the recent years it's been at Hard Rock Cafe, and then we go around the corner to Ford Theater. Other years we've had dinner theater, and the students have had a lot of fun with that. But included in the price for this trip is emergency round-the-clock nursing care that's available, and all the transportation around and about Washington, D.C. That $1,117 includes a $100 non-refundable, non-returnable deposit, which is due in early December, and then the balance is due about mid-January. We have some fundraising activities. Very often we've had students whose parents write the check, or of course it's possible to put this in part or totally on Visa or MasterCard. There are fellowships available that cover about 60% of the cost. So I'm hoping that anyone who's hearing about this will contact the school for more information. And I can be reached at Northern at 984-2671 and on voicemail. And it is a wonderful way for a young person to continue education in the area of government. But I'd like to talk a little bit more about the kinds of things students do in the course of a week. They have seminars and workshops and tours on the bus. They really have a very busy week. And as I mentioned, I tell parents that I will bring home a pretty tired young student. I would hope that people who are hearing this would consider getting more information about it. We have this close-up brochure that's available at Northern, and it is a very full and wonderful week that provides our students with such civic lessons that an old government teacher could only hope to instill in the students in the course of a year. They hear speakers, they get involved, they ask questions, and they come home really ready to take part in their community. So I thank you for this opportunity to share with you about Close-Up program. It's a great trip. I would hope that people who are hearing this would consider getting more information about it. We have this close-up brochure that's available at Northern, and it is a very full and wonderful week that provides our students with such civic lessons that an old government teacher could only hope to instill in the students in the course of a year. They hear speakers, they get involved, they ask questions, and they come home really ready to take part in their community. So I thank you for this opportunity to share with you about Close-Up program. It's a great trip.